When money calls, do you jump on it? I'm going to talk about that on this segment of The Gig Geezer. The queen of my life often gets on me about taking time off to rest. And today is Saturday, May 6, 2023. It's also the first Saturday in May, and so the Kentucky Derby should be run today. And I remember there was a time when I would be at the racetrack, and I will have gotten my racing form and probably checked out my Blood Horse magazine and tried to handicap the Kentucky Derby, which I never really was good at doing when it came to the Kentucky Derby. I remember back in 1988, I did predict Ali Sheba being the winner, but I predicted Ali Sheba being the winner the first time I saw him run in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile back in 1987. The next closest one was probably 1990 when Unbridled won, and Unbridled is known for the famed stretch call by the trainer Carl Nasker, whom I actually interacted with in Florida when Unbridled won the Florida Derby. And I know I'm going off on a bunch of shit right here, but that's me. I mean, I'm a geezer. I'm full of a lot of stories. But that said, the first Saturday in May, as always, has been for the longest was a big deal for me. Well, I haven't seen the Kentucky Derby in a long time, so I'm out here making money. Money has called, and money has called in the sense that I wasn't planning on doing shit today. Not a fucking thing. I mean, the queen of my life had already told me that a couple of her family members was coming up from Augusta to spend time with us. But then I saw two what I thought were easy opportunities. One was a roadie offering $21.83, and then the other was a point pickup for $19.55. Both were going in the same vicinity of each other, and now I'm in the process of dropping off these orders. And so within an hour, I'm going to make over $41 just by happening to be at the right place at the right time. And that's the thing about a lot of these gig apps. One content creator recently mentioned in one of his uploads that, hey, sometimes it's about just dumbass luck. I'm one who want to say that oftentimes it's just being in the right place at the right time. You can call it whichever way you want, but I've been out here long enough to know that sometimes you have to position yourself to catch certain opportunities. Like on the Roadie app, it was once explained to me that it was about your past history, where the algorithm has understood your gig selection tendencies. Some of it is your rating. Some of it is your proximity to some of these orders, and that goes a long way sometimes. I mean, I know of in the past there were certain things that I got that there's no way I should have gotten them on the Roadie app, but yet they came to me. Another thing now that I'm a big stickler of is having the right vehicle for certain orders. Now, I know that there are people out there, and in fact, recently I was in a conversation with a guy on the lounge, and he told me how he done tricked the system into getting certain opportunities when really you shouldn't fucking get them. I mean, goddamn, you're taking opportunities away from the other person. But yet, I understand. I've done that in the past. But it's kind of hard if you get a pallet of potting soil that you're gonna put that shit in your Nissan Altima. You're not gonna put a fucking pallet of potting soil in your Nissan Altima. It ain't gonna happen. Then there was another time where I had like 20 bales of hay and a bunch of other shit that went to a farm. You're not gonna get that one either, even though the money was good. You're not gonna get those type of orders. But so this particular one, the other item, well, what you're going to see here on the inset is the Roadie order, which I'm not far away from dropping off. This motherfucker ordered probably for the next 2 weeks. There was a time I would say, with the way food prices used to be, you'd probably order for the next month. But the way food prices, I understand them to be now, this is probably just for 2 weeks. And they ordered a lot of shit. And so I can see why this is offering $21.38. But I don't know if, well, I know that there are people that's going to say, well, goddamn it, I'd fit it into my little Kia Rio. I'd fit all that shit in my Kia Rio. I'd find a way for $21. And I get that. I get that. I get that. But again, that's just me telling you that sometimes you need to have the right vehicle. Now, also on the inset here, I put up on my community page, those are a set of Bubba fucking tires. Bubba tires. I'm talking about the big, heavy motherfuckers, okay? You're not gonna fit that in your Nissan Altima. You're not gonna fit those in your Ford Taurus. You may not even fit them into your smaller pickup truck. Sometimes you have to have the right vehicles to get some of these opportunities. Here's the thing about my going on about the having the right vehicle. When you have the right vehicle, you get priority over someone supposedly when you have the correct vehicle. And this is something I wish Rody would do, in which they would make some type of qualifying test on that, because I know, like, when I do like on one particular broker that I deal with their app, I tried to bid for a load or a trip where it said straight truck, and I didn't get it because it's set up. Because I'm set up in the system having a Sprinter van, and so I had to go Sprinter van for Sprinter van opportunities. And I wish that would be the case at Rody. Point pickup, there are certain gig opportunities in which you have to have the right vehicle. I know with the Freight app, it will tell you specifically cargo van. Curry app, same thing, specific vehicles, cargo van. So that's something that you have to take into consideration as you probably evolve in the gig economy. So now I am right down the street from this drop-off location, and this is the place that I've dropped off before. All right, as you see on the inset, that was all the stuff that person ordered. Probably a good $400 worth of items. I would venture to say $400. And I mentioned as I turned onto the block or the neighborhood that I delivered there, and it came back to me the first time I delivered there. I actually attempted to drop off items to the place that was just beyond their address, thinking that I'd gone to the correct address. I mean, it was hard to pick up on the mailboxes or the addresses in that area. And as it turned out, when you do stuff long enough, you remember certain things. And I recognized that, okay, this is the house that I need to drop off to. In fact, on that particular delivery, I had to come back and deliver to the correct place because it finally, I mean, it just dawned upon me. It had dawned upon me that I had dropped off to the wrong place and had to take the items to the correct house. And that happens sometimes, especially when you're not familiar with a place. Well, for $21.83, could you imagine shopping for all that on the Instacart app? I would not have done that. That was probably a good 90 to 100 items there if you were to count everything. So yeah, I would not have done that. And if those and if it were now in the past with a lot of Rody orders, when you pick up for Walmart, you might have gone to an apartment. Now I had already checked out where it was going, so I knew it was going to be going to a residential neighborhood. If that had been an apartment, it would have been hell no, because it would have been third floor with all those waters and then all those drinks and so forth. That would have been a definite no. But even then with Walmart Spark, since I've never been on the app and I've tried to get on since 2019 and never been able to get on, I don't know how much an order like that would pay these days. There was a time on Instacart that might have paid $60, $70, but that was in 2020. Maybe 2021, 2023, that might be a $7 order with no tip. Highly conceivable. But this next one is going to be an easy one. As you see on the inset, it's a grill, a small grill, and it's just take it in one hand, drop it off at the front step, and that's it. All within an hour. Not bad. So if I were to give tips and pointers on a situation like this, even though I call this money, even though basically the entire theme of this is when money calls, This is a situation where the roadie order or the point pickup order might have been something that a person would go after just alone. But when there's opportunities to stack multiple orders across multiple apps, you take advantage of them. Now, there are people who talk of dollar per mile ratio and all that stuff. When you think about this, worst case with the numbers, I got a 4-to-1 dollar to mile ratio out of all this. But I'm also looking at all within an hour, I made $40, $41 and change to be exact. I don't think many folk would have a problem with that. And so, if you like the content that's been provided in this segment of the Gig Geezer or in any other segment of the Gig Geezer, hit that subscribe button. Give my content a thumbs up. Share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. I'm Inwood Lane, and as always, may your grind and may your hustle continue.